On this episode of Small Town Gen X,
You were not guilty. Why at the beginning were you driving around in a bronco with a 5 mile, 5 mile per hour
an hour on the interstate or on the freeway,
Yeah.
whatever,
and threatening, saying you have a gun to your
So you're
head?
gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
And why? And another thing, wasn't he leaving for the airport the night?
Yes.
He left.
He
Maybe
left.
he left. Yeah. I mean, really.
Hello? Oh, do I have a story for you? Oh, do tell. Hello and welcome to the podcast Small Town Gen X. I'm Kate DeCoste.
And I'm Launa Larson.
And
we're excited?
We maybe excited.
I think so.
A little busy, so we're like,
Yeah.
let's get this
Going.
shit done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it rolling.
Get it rolling.
Yes.
But it's always fun.
Yeah.
It's just we're both
Right now it's hectic.
hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little hectic.
Yeah.
I think everyone's lives. I don't know if it's like
It's the
spring.
Yeah, I think it's the season.
It is.
You know, tis the
Tis
season.
the season. It is. I think so.
Yeah.
Because I
We
feel
get-
like everybody is like
well,
that.
yeah, there's graduations, there's weddings, there's
Yes.
just a lot of stuff, and we're getting busy at work. So
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I think it's that season.
It is that time.
I think it's just everybody gets out at it's like, we're not.
we're out of the house.
Yeah,
we
and then
don't
you
have
like
to be
things
cooped
to
up.
do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So we were wondering what we were going to talk about, and then was it just a week ago?
I think
so?
about a week. Yeah.
About a week
About a week
ago
ago.
that OJ Simpson passed away.
Yeah.
And we were like, I texted you, I was like,
Oh,
I said he passed.
You're like, oh,
He died. And then I was like, should we talk about that on the podcast?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, yeah. Because that was very much high school
That was.
for us.
That was.
And that's all I remember. That's all I would watch. And then we would talk about it.
Yep.
So I felt like this
That was
a
probably one
good
of our many 4-hour conversations that night was about the OJ trial.
I think so. I think so.
I mean, even before OJ, I didn't know him as a football player.
Me either.
But then he was on Naked Gun.
Yes.
He did those movies.
Yes.
And
I feel like that's how we knew.
That's how I got to know OJ.
Same.
You know?
And he just was so like funny
Right.
in those movies. And then
yeah.
you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
And I mean, I know there are some people that believe that he
Is
did not,
innocent.
that he was innocent. I don't believe
I don't
that.
believe it
And you
either.
know-
No.
Which is, too bad. And I have seen on some TikToks now that's come up again because
Right.
he died. I saw some TikTok person, creator, they were talking about that they don't think OJ did it. They said that the son did it and OJ was like covering.
Oh.
But I'm like, I don't know how he was covering because he was saying he didn't do it either.
Right.
But maybe he was
his oldest son.
That
why
old-
would,
the
why would
oldest
he
son.
want to kill her?
I don't
wonder.
know. They were saying that he had some violent
Oh,
past, or he just has a violent
right. Well, so
whatever.
did OJ,
Well, and it's kind of like, why would
the son.
the son? And I don't know how
Yeah.
old he was
I don't either. I
when
don't
she. I don't know if
remember.
he was a teenager, maybe. But it's like, yeah, I feel like the motive, and then when you look back at all of the things, that whole thing about the glove.
Right.
And I was watching again a TikTok, and they were showing like that whole part of the trial, and he's all like trying to like get the glove on, and he has a rubber glove on.
Right. I don't. Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna get a glove on over a rubber
right.
glove?
I know.
Like, you can barely get a rubber glove.
You would think that if he was wearing a rubber glove for like, so he wouldn't get his DNA in the glove. You'd think they'd have that already. That glove
was
already
tested.
Tested. Yes.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they just put it on him? I don't know why.
I don't know how that was. And he was, he wasn't, like you said, he was in movies. He was an actor.
Yeah.
So he was totally like acting like, I
can't get this glove on.
Then the same creator then showed how he was wearing those gloves at some kind of like
at a football game
event.
or something like that.
Yeah, where he was like the commentator or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, and it was literally the exact same gloves.
And
And again, who else had a motive to murder them? Because he wasn't obviously going after Ron Goldman. Like, it wasn't like somebody went to Nicole Brown's house to kill Ron Goldman and then she came out and saw it.
No, it was came to kill her. He showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think it was just the motive of...
Well, were they divorced?
They were divorced.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't know if Ron Goldman, I think he was just a friend.
That's what
she forgot her glasses.
Yeah, they went and ate
at the
restaurant he worked at or something like that.
Right. I think the worst part of the whole thing, I mean, the whole thing was gruesome, like for her to how she was, but that their children
were in the house.
Yes. Yeah. Like, what if they found her?
Right. What if they came down there?
Yes. Like, because if they heard noise.
Right, yeah.
Do you remember who did? Was it like a neighbor saw it, or who actually?
Yes, I think it was I think it was their dog. Her dog was barking.
Okay,
is that what it was? And then, or a neighbor or something was walking his dog.
Okay,
and heard that dog barking, or that dog came out or whatever, and it was covered in blood.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And then it was like, oh God.
Yep. And then he must have went over to the or area and saw. Obviously, it was like the front gate area.
Yeah,
I mean, it was right there.
Because I think she was like right on like the front steps.
I think she was, and he was just like
not far.
No, not far.
Yeah,
so I would say he was probably closer to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's crazy. Did you watch the that FX? Show about it?
Yes.
Because there was like stuff, like I said, you and I definitely were ones that were really watching the trial. Yeah. But even in that movie, I found out things I had no idea.
You had no idea that.
And I felt so bad. I mean, she's doing great now, I feel like. But Marcia Clark.
Oh, yes.
They were like the fact that she had to worry about what she looked like. Yep. Now, did any man in that trial, there were a bunch of men, lawyers. Right, yep. They didn't have to fucking worry about what they look like and what their hair looked like. And no, that's what she had to worry about. Yep. And when she's a lead prosecutor of this huge trial, and then she's being like put down because in the press about her hair,
her clothes,
everything.
Yeah.
I would have been given a big middle finger.
Yeah, I would have been like, I don't care what you say.
I know. But then like you do. Like
right,
if you like I'm gonna be like, I would be like, I wouldn't care, but then
but it still bothered you.
Oh, it would. Yeah.
So
especially when she's like, I don't know, she's like this smart woman doing all this stuff, and that's what they're gonna talk about, I guess. But I don't know.
We were also talking about how it's almost all of the guys on OJ's team are now dead.
Oh.
I think there's only like one left.
One that's left.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is left?
Oh.
Is it
okay, Johnny Cochran. I'm trying to think. He's dead.
Yes.
Kardashian.
What's the one? Oh,
Robert Shapiro, I think, is the one that's still alive.
Oh yeah.
Because there was the white-haired guy, the older guy.
Oh, gosh, what is his name? And I can see him.
I think
he passed away.
I think he's gone too.
Yeah, because like Robert Shapiro now is like does LegalZoom.
Yeah. Does he do that?
I think he's like I don't know if he started it or if he's the face of it or what, but he does LegalZoom. I feel like probably that trial
killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or it was one of those.
That's a lot of stress.
Karma.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've watched that so many times of them saying
not
the
guilty.
verdict.
Yeah.
do you ever just, I mean, I've obviously watched OJ's face.
Right.
Do you watch his lawyers?
Yes.
I feel like Robert Kardashian looks
like
shocked.
Yep. Like, oh my gosh, how is he not guilty?
I think, yes.
Yeah.
And like, how are they saying this? Because he literally is like shocked.
Yep.
I feel like everybody else the other lawyers are like, we got it.
We got it. Yeah. And he was just like emotionless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of like, he's like this. And then he just kind of like turns.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
But doesn't, his face is just, like I don't know. And I it's kind of like one of those things where I wish I could ask.
Right.
Like, what did you think?
What did you think?
But I don't think he ever really saw OJ again. I remember reading something or seeing something.
Right. I can't remember, but yeah, it's something like that because he was friends. Well, when him and Kris Jenner were married.
Right.
They were friends.
They were
with,
close.
Yeah.
They were all four like good friends.
And, Nicole. And And then when she got murdered,
they
kind of, it was, Kris went
more
Nicole's way,
right,
or right. Like, OJ did it.
Right.
And he was on his team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just nuts. And I saw I don't remember what it was on, but Kris Jenner was talked to, like she was on a talk show or something. And she said how her and like her other like close friends of Nicole's did not know that she was being abused by OJ and that she felt like she let her friend down because she didn't see the signs. And I just found it interesting that she never told.
Right.
But then I guess that morning or that after, like lunch, Nicole and Kris were supposed to go to lunch like that day after she was murdered.
Okay.
And she said, I guess Nicole said, I have some things to talk to you about. And now she, like, in that interview, she wondered
if it
was it this
about that,
kind of thing that he's doing, been like, because she had evidence, like she took photos of herself, like
with
she
black
had eyes and stuff. So I'm just,
and they have 911
of her calling,
of her calling him, or calling them and saying that he was beating her,
and it was like, I feel like it was like the one I remember, the one call, she made it sound like this is. Again, I'm calling you again.
Yes, again.
Yeah.
It's OJ.
It's OJ.
Yeah, it's again. And she said he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, she did say that, I think, in that one tape.
Yeah. I think she knew.
Yeah.
At some time.
Yep.
He was going to.
He was going to. He probably told her he was going to.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
That's like.
And isn't it crazy how you can just do that? Like, you can look at somebody as, a football player, movie star, all of that, or a commentator, and you wouldn't think that they would
do anything like that. Yeah.
And they said when he died, all those children were with him.
But yeah.
I wonder what I don't know. Have you seen things with them?
No.
Have they ever talked about it? Like, especially like her kids.
Right. I haven't seen them, I don't think, since. I don't even know, what I mean? They stayed out of the public eye pretty good.
And did they go with her parents?
Either her parents or one of her sisters.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing.
Okay.
About Kardashians, and they always say that Khloe Kardashian is OJ's daughter.
Yes.
I mean, they do look alike.
They
like
do.
the daughter, the one daughter, and Khloe, OJ's
look alike.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I know.
They'll never do
they'll never
test.
do any kind of
or
test.
if they know,
they'll never gonna say anything.
Would you?
No.
I wouldn't be like, yes, my dad.
Yeah,
because that I think they all believe that he did it too,
right.
Even though they were little.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want that.
No. Nope.
This is totally off subject, but I know that you're not a Taylor Swift fan, but she's got some songs.
Oh.
Dissing Kim.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's one, and it's kind of like with the daughter, Kim's daughter, North.
Okay.
Loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But Kim, and when she was with Kanye, there was that whole thing. There was a bunch of stuff, and I guess I didn't know this, but I guess there was a doctored phone call that Kanye put out there, or Kim put out there, or they both put out there, that was supposedly between Kanye and Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Saying that it was okay for him to talk about her in like a song.
Oh.
And it was basically about that whole situation where he went up on stage and took her moment and all of that. And she never did. Oh. And then she never said that. Well, then they put out this like doctored phone call, and people, I guess, believed it and all of that. Well, now she put out this
song about him.
But one of the lines is something like, I'm not going to say it correctly, but it's something like, your kid's going to come home listening to a song that you know is about you and I. Or like singing a song about you and I.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could be a Taylor Swift fan or not, but you have to like give her like, she is so good at being petty and like doing it in such a good way where I would like want to lash out right away. Yeah. But she is like, I'm gonna
get you back. Yep, I'll get you back in some way. So yeah.
I know. I was like, and it just made me think of that when you said something about Chloe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I've been watching. There have been like on TikTok, people are like, because her album came out last week or this weekend, and people, they're having like listen parties. And I've seen them like they're videoing themselves listen to it. And some of these people, I mean, they are like,
they're to hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. And they must be watching the words on a screen or something, because they're all like looking at something, and then they're all like, oh my God. Yeah. And like, so that's how I've known. But the one song, shoot, I forget what
Are you sure Tim didn't tell you this?
No, but he did say, he goes, because I have Sirius XM and she has a channel now. And so I've been listening. I was like, well, I can listen to it in the car, I can listen to some of her new songs. And we were in the car yesterday morning because we had the carpets cleaned and we left. And I had that was on. And he was like, I might have to take a listen to this album because there might be, something to listen to his bass or whatever. And I go, yeah, that's why you want to listen to it.
Oh yeah.
I think he's just like a closeted Swiftie.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, I don't know, but she has new song is or it's like the video she put out. It has Post Malone in it.
Oh.
And at one point in the video, she has his tattoos.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh. Like they do this thing where she's like this, and then like the tattoos.
All the tattoos.
And it was so funny.
Up.
Yeah. And so I was watching this while someone else was watching, like they were doing a, watch party or whatever.
Watch me watch it.
Yes. Watch me react.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, she's got Posty's tats. And then Post Malone doesn't have tats.
Oh, then he's all clear.
He's all clear. I was like, who the fuck's that? No, he looks nice. Like I was like, oh, you look nice without your tattoos.
Your facial tattoos.
So it makes who he is, I guess. I could never have a needle on my.
I don't think so.
On my head.
Everywhere on his face.
Yeah, he's kind of all over. I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress from OJ.
Yeah.
Went to
Taylor.
Went to Taylor.
Right.
Yeah. But
what do you think? Do you think Chloe's
OJ's
kid or not?
He could, or she could be, or he could be her dad.
Yeah. I'm at a 50-50.
I'm at a 50-50 too, because I feel like some people, it's just a thing where it's like, she kind of, but I'm like, she looks so much like all the other ones. So I'm like, I don't know.
She's not as dark as, like, she doesn't have that, what are they, Armenian, I think.
Right.
She doesn't have that look to her.
Right. But don't you think if she was OJ's daughter, she'd be more dark?
I don't know. Because his kids were pretty light skinned, but I don't know.
I think it just depends. I have some friends that they'll have, one of their babies will be like super dark and then the other ones are lighter. So I think it's
it all depends.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
Is Chloe the youngest out of the Kardashians?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Oh no, I think Rob.
Oh, is it Rob?
Yeah,
I think kind of forget about Rob.
Yeah,
you don't
because
see
he's
him.
never on anything. No,
no.
But I think she's the youngest girl. I think Rob's the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's very dark.
No, he's not.
Well, I mean, I guess again, I haven't seen him for a long time.
But he looks like his dad. I think a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be.
Maybe the other girls just spray tan so much that.
Yeah, it's true. They could.
I don't know. I don't watch it, so.
No, did you ever watch that show?
I did watch it. Yeah. I think like when it first came out.
Okay.
For a few years.
Yeah. But I never really. Like every once in a while it would be on and I would catch it and I would watch a little bit of it. But no, I was never like a hardcore. Like I never watched a full season.
No. And I don't remember them even having kids when I watched it. Like any of them. Like
Courtney.
She had him first. And I don't think I would flip through and they would be on those, but I never would watch.
Oh,
when they,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was always the first few seasons.
Right. That you watched. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy how now they're like.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. They do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim's got those Skims.
Yeah.
I don't have any of them, but I've heard that they're actually really great.
I do have a pair of them.
Do you? Do you like?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I've heard that they're really good, that they're better than like some other
like Spanx and all that.
Yeah. They got I think like they got makeup, they got
makeup, they got
clothes. Yeah.
They got everything.
They do.
Yeah.
And when we were watching, when we were watching the trial, you didn't even know who they were.
No.
You didn't know who the dad. I mean, you only knew because he was
OJ's lawyer. Yeah.
And I guess I didn't know any of them, of the lawyers.
And
really.
I don't even know, was Chris in the courtroom? I wouldn't even known who she was.
No.
If she was in the courtroom.
I'm guessing she was. I'm
sure she
was there for some.
Fun. Yeah, for some of it.
Yeah.
Not for fun.
I
think I said fun, but I meant some.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe the verdict or just some parts of it. I'm sure she was there for the family,
right? Yeah,
too, because she did say on that article on that interview that the day that she was murdered, then when she was supposed to go to lunch, I guess Nicole's mom called her. And Chris had an assistant at that time.
Oh, okay.
And
she was probably Bruce's
manager. That's right.
Or whatever.
That's right. She would have been at that point. She said that her assistant came in and said, she was on the phone and she's like, she was kind of running late. She's like, can you tell her I'll call her back or something like that? And she's like, well, she says she really needs to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then that's how she found out. Yeah.
So Nicole's mom called her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
know. And the fact that you were going to go to lunch.
I know.
You're getting ready to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing just to find that out, but the fact that you're getting ready to go see them and find out not only that they died, but that they were murdered. And in such a
terrible
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times weren't they stabbed too? I mean,
they were
a lot of times.
And that's the other thing. That's shows it's passion.
Yes.
It's not just somebody that's just
one
stab,
or whatever. No, it was.
And her head was almost off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that has to take a lot
of strength.
Yes.
And you look at that and look at how big he was.
He was big. And again, he had the motive.
Right.
And not some random person doesn't just try to cut someone's head off.
No. Because she was probably laying down and he lifted her head.
Yes.
By her hair or whatever. And then,
yes.
And
yes.
Then,
ugh.
Ugh.
God.
Speaking of more funnier things with OJ, though, after the trial, SNL. All the skits that they used to do
I know.
with OJ. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, those were hilarious.
Those were good.
We just watched. They had a special after he died.
Okay.
And it was, well, I mean, it was on, I think it was on YouTube we were watching, but it was like all these clips
of just all the ones that they did.
Yeah, like of the weekend updates.
Oh
my
yes,
gosh.
yes.
Those, I laughed so hard on all of those. I'm like, oh my God, I remember watching these.
Yes.
When it happened, and,
right.
Yeah, they did a lot of skits too with them, so.
Well, yeah. I feel like that just gave us so much material. Yeah. And I feel like it's that whole thing of the shit he was doing in the courtroom.
Right. When he could get his glove on.
Yeah.
And what was that? If it does not fit, you must acquit.
Yes.
Yeah.
There
was a lot of things.
Well, and they say that, and I've seen, it was like jurors that were on the jury, and then a lot of them said the reason was more about Rodney King.
Oh.
Where like that had just happened and all those people got away with basically.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that was like, see, I can barely watch. Like, I can't watch. Like, when they go to show that, it's like, I cannot watch him being beat like that. Yeah. And that had just happened and everything. So people were riled up. So it didn't even matter that it was OJ. Right. It mattered what his skin, color of his skin. Was, yeah. And like, I can see that. I can see why they were wanting some kind of justice, even though you didn't give justice to the right person.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think of like the Goldmans, like they haven't, like they got that, they did that. What do you call it? Where they wrongful death or whatever, and they've never seen anything of that, and they never will. I don't think, because I saw it, and this lawyer, thought he was something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have the lawyer that's in charge of his estate. Mm-hmm. He was saying like there are 9 people or 9 things that his money will go to or something, and the Goldmans were like, they were not, at the bottom. They were like get 8. Anything. Yeah. And then I saw something else where I was watching that on like court TV. Yeah. And so those are all lawyers and like used to be judges and stuff that are on that now. And they were like, yeah, some of the stuff he's saying, that's not how it works. And I was like, well, like, we'll leave it up to OJ to have
a lawyer,
a lawyer like that. Yeah.
Right.
And just do the fucking right thing. Like, you're dead.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought maybe he would like confess on his deathbed. But he fucking confessed. Like, he made that book.
Oh, yeah.
And then you watch that. There's a interview with him, and he's like, allegedly. Yeah. I mean, he's literally
he's saying,
he's recounting it. Yeah. The way he says it.
Yeah, there's a few, that they had just posted that he said, and he literally said, basically, I killed him.
Mm-hmm. But then in the next breath he's like, I'm still looking for the killers. I'm like, there is
you are.
So what did it? Was it Tim? I think said, like, he always said he was, he'll go to his grave or whatever, looking or whatever, and he's like, he must have looked in the mirror, or something like that. It's like, you did it. Right. I mean, you got away with it, but then his life was never
the same. No.
People looked at him different, and then he went to jail for like stealing his own shit.
Yeah, wasn't that in Las Vegas or something like that?
Yes, because then he went to jail for I think like 10 years.
It was
a
while.
Yeah. So it's always like, it is karma. Like, I feel like you might be able to get away with something.
He just didn't want to go to jail. That's probably all it was. You know what I mean?
Well, no.
He didn't want to live his life in prison.
No. Well, and no. And he would have, I'm guessing if he would have been convicted of murder of 2 people, he would have been there for the rest of his life. But it's like, your life was over.
But it wasn't the same.
When you were, because another thing, it's like, if you were not guilty, why at the beginning were you driving around in a bronco with a 5 mile, like 5
yeah,
mile per
an hour
hour
on the interstate or on the freeway,
Yeah.
whatever.
and threatening, saying that you have
He's
a gun
gonna,
to your
yes, you're
head.
gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
And why? And another thing, wasn't he leaving for the airport the night?
Yes.
He left. Maybe he left. Yeah. I mean, really?
Yes.
Yeah. It was just so many things.
Because that's what he said that he did. Because they think that then he went and did it, and then
went
and left.
left.
Yeah. And I didn't know that. I don't think I ever caught that until I watched that movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh.
Yeah, he went to Chicago or something like that. I remember that when it happened.
And maybe
he had
at the time
left.
knew, but I
yeah,
forgot about it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, how convenient. You know
right,
what I mean?
You have that
like,
alibi. Yeah.
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 Yep.
And again, yeah, you have that alibi that you're literally not there.
Right.
And then...
But technically he was there. He was still in LA or whatever. He just was on his way to the airport. Or whatever. And then they basically said, no, you would have still been. Because I think he was like sleeping or something like that. He fell asleep.
Oh,
he took a nap
right.
He was late or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. It was all,
Yeah.
A bunch of lies.
A bunch of lies.
Yes.
And when you have lawyers... When you can afford the best and have literally a huge team of like these big like I didn't know who they were at the time, but like you obviously were big lawyers, it's going to help you. Yeah. And then you have the DA that has to be dealing with other things. Yeah. And I mean, which I thought they both, they all did a good job. But what was the other DA? Chris.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. What was his last name? I don't remember. I mean, I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. I feel bad that I can't. But he like went.
Oh yeah.
I think that's why I don't remember his name because he kind of like left.
Yeah.
He would took a huge toll.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, how long did she stay in?
I don't.
Like the
office. I don't think for very much longer. And then she went on to do other things.
Christopher Darden.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew it was Christopher. Yeah. And I can see him.
Yeah, I can see him. Yep.
Yeah.
I know what he looks like. Were those the main two?
I think those were the main two. Yeah. And he totally went out of out of the I don't know if he was still a lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they definitely especially in that movie they said how he
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we can't forget the judge
Lance Ito. Yeah.
I don't think he was very good.
No, I don't either. I think he was in it for the fame too a little bit.
I think so too. And I remember that on SNL.
Yes. And what was OJ's he lived on OJ's property.
Oh,
I can't think of his name.
Oh, they just talked about him too. I can see his hair.
Kato Kaelin.
Yes.
Surfer boy. They did a lot of skits on him too. But
yeah. How crazy? Because I don't think he didn't know anything. He didn't have anything to do with it.
No idea. I don't.
But can you imagine? You're just like living there, and
why was he living there?
I don't remember if he just knew OJ from something, and he needed a place to live.
I don't remember either. But that was
he hadn't because he was like in the guest house. Yeah. And didn't he hear something?
He heard something, and then didn't they find the glove? The bloody glove? That's where they found the glove.
Yes. That's right.
And how they said it was planted there.
Yeah.
Baloney.
I know.
OJ walked right by his window and dropped his bloody glove.
Yes. He did.
He did.
He totally did. Like you were in a rush.
Yep. It fell out of your pocket or something.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always something. There's always going to be something. And again, I feel like if there was better... I feel like since it was the 90s, the DNA stuff, that's just was not good.
As good as it is now.
Now, I feel like he had to have, because did he have any kind of cuts?
I think he did have some cuts on his hand or arm.
Yeah. Because it's like,
yeah.
Where'd you get those?
Right.
And you just conveniently had those.
Right. And you would think that there would be some kind of like skin or something under her nails
or something,
or his, whoever
yes.
was, I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought the whole thing was a little.
Yeah. But like I said, you got all those lawyers.
Right. And the police, I think, maybe had...
and they didn't do a very good job.
No, didn't some of them, like, pick stuff up without gloves on?
Like, there was a lot of contamination.
Yeah.
That's, like, the thing where you can't just, like...
Right, go pick up something or walk in,
right.
Right. Walk in an area.
Right. I'm sure since that was, like... it was a nice neighborhood. I'm sure that was, like, not...
Oh, yeah.
Something they're used to.
Yeah, they're not used to it.
But...
yeah.
Yeah, I can still remember, like, watching the verdict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were at school.
Yeah.
And we were like, no. People were... some people were cheering.
Happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was maybe the first time in my life that I realized that, like, oh... I'm not going to have the same opinion as
other people.
Everybody else. And I mean, and were we juniors or seniors?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I feel like juniors.
Maybe juniors.
Because, yeah, I feel like we would have been juniors.
Or no, we got to go home for lunch.
Oh, we did.
So we were
That's
seniors.
Right, because I did watch it. I would sit there and
yeah.
watch it lunch.
Yeah.
So we were seniors.
Yep.
And
it was always
95.
on. Yeah. And they always had, I can remember they had it playing on the big screen.
Yes.
They always like had it out in the cafeteria.
Yeah. That big.
Yeah.
That TV.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
It was like one of those big TVs.
Yeah. A projection TV or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were really common.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think that was the first time that I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are going to have a different opinion than mine. But I think I'm right.
Yeah. I think. We were right.
We were right. I'm pretty sure I still believe
think
that.
He did it.
Yeah. And I wonder what his kids think. Do they really think he didn't do it, or the fact that they were at his side, or were they like,
or just because he was dying?
They're my dad. They just went to his side. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really. I mean, I knew he was in trouble and went to jail for stealing his own memorabilia because it was his stuff. But didn't he like sell it or something?
I
mean,
think
it was
so.
a whole
That's
thing
what the whole thing was about. His Heisman Trophy and all this stuff.
Yeah, but then I really didn't keep up with him. I did just see because he died.
You're right.
He made some video not like a couple months ago before the Super Bowl, and he was predicting the winner.
Oh,
and
I didn't see that.
I also saw something that maybe was around the same time, and he was in the car, and it must have been like paparazzi or whatever, and he was like denying that he had cancer.
Oh.
And then, and like, why? I don't know why.
Right.
Why would you deny that? Yeah. And then like 2 months later, he's
died,
dead.
Yeah.
So it's like of cancer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I didn't pay any attention to him.
Mm-mm.
Just news that would come on, like that whole thing in Las Vegas. And,
yeah, and it's like, well, you're not going to jail for what you should have gone to jail in the 90s, but I guess you're getting some payback.
Yeah.
And the fact like he just couldn't ever, I mean, he's not going to ever, he didn't have the status that he could have. He never did more, because he probably would have done more movies.
Oh, that, and
he would have
sports.
Commentator. Yeah.
And Caitlyn Jenner, she put out a tweet when he died.
Oh, she did.
Something about, I think she said good riddance or something like that, and she got criticized for that.
Did she? Yeah. Like, because people thought that he was innocent still?
Well, just the fact that she shouldn't have said that
ill of the dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people feel
that
way.
Yeah.
I think I think it was Ron Goldman's father put something out, and it was just a very it was almost like something like that.
Oh,
like it wasn't the same words,
right?
But it was a very short where
right. Like you got what you just something like that.
Yeah.
Now you're
yeah.
But
that was a
thing.
That was
then.
a big.
That was a big.
That was
deal.
big. I feel like that was probably Was that the first time that you were glued to a trial?
probably.
I mean, I know because I don't remember watching. Like, I know, like the Rodney King thing would have happened prior to that,
right?
But this was like a celebrity.
Right.
It was like
it was a big. I mean, it was televised, and
everyone had an opinion. Yep. Yeah, I feel like, and now I freaking watch court TV.
Oh, I watched the whole Johnny Depp trial.
Oh, me too.
The whole thing.
Well, right now it's the Doomsday Cult.
Oh, is that what you're watching?
Yes, yeah. Right now it's well, because the mom, Lori Vallow or whatever her name was, she's got convicted. Now it's that Chad Daybell, the husband.
Yeah.
Or I guess she was Lori Vallow Daybell, but I was watching it yesterday or had it on, and they were talking to her oldest son was on, and that was interesting. Today I really wanted to watch it, but I didn't have time.
Yeah.
But the guy was married at the time to Lori's niece.
Okay.
And he was the one that like got shot at.
Oh.
Like he was in his car and got like shot, and I was like, "Ooh, I kind of want to listen to." And he's not married to the niece anymore. But yeah, I kind of wanted to hear what he had to say, but I was like, you don't have time for that.
Right.
But I could have it on while I edit.
But then you get sucked into it.
I do. Then I'm like, ooh, what's going on? So I was like, okay.
I would do that. At night I would watch the Johnny Depp as it, what happened during the day,
and they'd read.
And I would watch that because I would just get sucked in.
Oh, I know.
I'm like,
well,
they're listening. And
I don't know because when that was on, I don't feel like I wasn't as like busy or something, because I watched it during the day. And then I think it was stuff I could do while it was on. But I can remember if I was at Tim's and he's working from home, and then I'd be working from home, and he would like say come out of the office to like get water or whatever, get a cup of coffee, whatever, and he would like then stop
and watch.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, you got to see this part.
I always liked it when they would like recap the stuff.
Yes.
That was,
then you can like,
then you could, you didn't have to watch all of it, but then you knew, stuff that was important.
And you knew they were going to show the stuff that were crazy,
that was funny.
Or funny. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I really liked it when she was on and he was on trial or on the stand. Yeah.
I also those two were the best. But then there was that one doctor that like looked like he was like a doctor,
like a crazy doctor. I mean, like he looked
his
like
hair wasn't even combed, and I was like, dude, you're in court.
Yes.
And he was like wackadoo.
He was
like the stuff that came. I was just like his facial
expressions. Yes,
like he'd be like.
I mean, and I even liked they had I don't know, I can't remember. It was somewhere in California, but they had a glamping type they went to.
Oh,
and the person that owned it, they were on. I thought it was.
That's right.
I thought it was.
They
fun.
had that whole
the whole area they closed off for them or whatever. Their friends. And they like trashed their camper or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that guy was I thought that was good.
And so was the guy that was the TMZ. He worked for TMZ.
Oh,
at the time.
Yes.
Like, he was really good too.
Yeah. I think that whole trial was good.
It was. Like there was never a day that you were like, "Ma, that was boring.
That was stupid. I wish I wouldn't have watched today."
Because even if they weren't captivating on the stand, both
the
lawyers,
both sides were. Yes, they were both a little just out there.
Yes. Elaine.
Yeah.
I don't think Elaine knew what she was getting into.
No, I don't either.
I feel like Johnny Depp's lawyers were
they
like
were way prepared, and hers were not.
No. Oh my gosh. So now I'm always like, ooh, what's gonna be on? And sometimes it's stuff I'm like, I've never even heard of what happened, but then I'll still get intrigued. But that was probably I'd say the most entertaining trial I've watched.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, OJ,
rest in peace. OJ,
rest in peace, I guess. Down there.
Down there.
He's looking up. right, Launa. Well, this was a good little recapping. I was like thinking of our high school days of wondering what was going to happen that day of the trial. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it started. I really feel like it totally started with the Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, I mean, it started with
the
killing.
murder. But yes.
But that's when it was like,
when they were
what
like,
is happening?
You knew that it was something, or I mean, OJ was probably did it because he was in that Bronco going so
and I really
slow
did think he was going to kill himself.
Did you?
I really did. I was like, I think, he's gonna do it.
Yep.
But
I don't remember what I thought then. I just thought that it was funny that, they're going so slow. These cops couldn't like crash into him to stop. Like something like that.
I think they were just like, okay,
it was just we'll write it out. I guess if he shoots himself, he shoots himself.
Right.
I don't know.
They probably just didn't want it to be a big thing.
Right.
And they're just like, we'll just stay back and let him cruise.
Yeah. We'll shut down the freeway for him.
Yeah.
Taxpayer money.
I know. Can you imagine if you were like on the other side of the freeway? You're coming, you're like
you see this Bronco and no cars anywhere for miles.
And back then, like, you didn't have your phone, you didn't have a dash cam, you couldn't record any of that. That we had to rely on the news. Yeah.
Yep. The helicopter, the their footage and people that were are reporters on the side of the interstate.
Right. Well, we'll see what newsworthy things we need to talk about next time. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening.